The person talking to you on this stage at this moment isn't the person I was 2 years ago. Hi, my name is Noam Bergman. I'm a proud Latina, an activist, and this is my story. 2 years ago, being happy was just a dream for my old self. 2 years ago, I was bullied by teachers. I hated my body. I felt like my voice didn't matter. My anxiety disorder were off the charts. I hated my body again, and I felt like my voice didn't matter. Sorry. Um, One summer morning, it hit me. Suddenly, everything was clear. I needed to do something about myself. It wasn't okay for a teen to stay in that unhealthy state of mind. It wasn't okay for anyone to feel that way. I rolled out of bed. I looked myself in the mirror. My body and my mind, the same ones as the day before I couldn't stand, looked better to me, felt better to me. And with what seemed an easy, simple, accepting glance in the mirror, change started to grow. I chopped and donated my hair, then changed schools to reflect the dramatic change I was about to go through. Let me explain. Change is an event or a process in which something becomes different or modifies its original state. Both words event and process are key when it comes to life changing. A process means to slowly, gradually do or change something, like recovering from a disease or changing to a healthier lifestyle. On the other hand, the word event, under this context, refers to a more sudden or more abrupt type of change, such as chopping hair or moving. After analyzing and discussing with other change addicts about the pros and cons of sudden and gradual change, I've came to the conclusion that there's a type of change for each type of person. Most of the people that consider themselves introverts told me they would rather go for a slow and gradual change instead of a bold and sudden one. But apparently, extroverts like me don't agree. According to our more outgoing ones, bold and abrupt change is more effective. Let's look at this in numbers. 49.3% out of the 25 people I talked to, them being the extroverts, prefer quick, bold change, while the other 50.7%, them being the introverts, would rather change gradually. So, what's the deal then? Which one is better? Well, unfortunately, I can't answer that for you. After my research, what I've learned is that change is completely subjective. The type of change or path that you decide to go through might be completely different from what I believe is best for me. That's the magic of change. The efficiency of it only depends on the will and effort that you put into it. As you can see, change comes in all shapes, sizes, colors, and personalities, and so do the people in our society. If we could all see the effectiveness of clean slates or fresh starts, our relationships with people might change. Simply because if you take care of yourself and love who you are, then everything around you starts to settle down. Check out the pros and cons of sudden and gradual change. Gradual change is definitely a great choice if you don't enjoy being on the spotlight or socializing with people in any way. Since you'll be changing gradually, almost undercover if you will, your social circle might take some time to notice it. This way, you don't get any remarks and asked opinions. Gradual change allows you to adapt to your own pace, since it is a more slow and cautious type of change. On the downside, it requires a lot of time and effort. If you commit to change gradually, new experiences might become a habit, which I believe is amazing. The goal of gradual change is, of course, to achieve great change through time and overcoming the fear of the unknown. Basically, doing what Eleanor Roosevelt once said: do one thing every day that scares you. But let's be honest, although she is an amazing icon, we've all heard that quote like 500 times already. Yes, it is a cliche quote, but it's actually good advice. Now, when it comes to sudden change or fresh starts, I believe that the amount of pros are endless. Confidence and self-esteem levels increase significantly because it generates not only self-love, but because your social circle might not be used to that new look or personality that complements seem unending. However, clean slates can be an important risk for your own mental health. So is every type of change, but the currentness of impromptu change can be extremely overwhelming for some. So try to make a balance between what you like and what you dislike, what you can and can't handle. Accept that and learn how to come to agreements with your own thoughts. Know your limits. As I said before, change isn't all about rainbows, roses, and new perspectives. Warning, Huge disclaimer coming up. Change was one of the most terrifying things I ever went through during my whole life. I am sure you are familiar with this spiteful emotion called fear. Again, change is absolutely terrifying, but we tend to think that fear is bad, that fear is holding us back on a lot of experiences. But actually, when it comes to life changing, we're driven by fear. According to various psychological studies, the term change is automatically associated with fear. The fear of the unknown is a universal fear. Yes, even that annoying narcissistic guy that insists that he isn't afraid of anything is afraid of the unknown. I, in fact, am still afraid of the unknown. You are afraid of the unknown. Xenophobia, which is the term for this phenomenon, is completely normal, and it is produced when we don't know the answer, the consequences of an action, or in this case, an emotion. As humans, we have the urge to know everything at all times. Not knowing the answer is the one thing that society can't stand. But when we don't know that answer, we push ourselves to find it. We push ourselves to find a better way to do things. We push ourselves to change. See what I mean? Fear drives us to do bigger and greater things. But the fear of the unknown is a global idea that actually hides multiple fears in it, such as the fear of failure, the fear of pain, the fear of power, and the fear of criticism. These are what I like to call the fundamental fears of change. These are the emotions that lead to great change, and here's why. Fear will push you to the limits. It will push you to do things you never thought you could do until after you've done them. The fear of power, more specifically, exists for the simple reason that we are all afraid to be drunk in power at some point. But fluidity is power. Being able to change is power. The constant fear of change will keep you humble towards others, while keeping the burning ambition you carry inside alive. But then, the big question I haven't answered yet is what to expect from change. Change has a goal that varies depending on each person, but the general and main aim of change is what psychiatrists like to call the fresh start effect. This refers to the motivation and empowerment that follows the decision of going for a fresh start. This phenomenon increases productivity since new things inspire new ideas. According to the Noam Group and evidence-based experience research, this aspect of change is an actual scientifically proven thing. Amazing, right? Take it or leave it, but I'm here to testify that it is true. I changed who I am around 2 years ago, and I'm still under the magic spell. But again, if you don't believe me, I dare you to take a look at your life and change whatever and whenever you feel like it. I promise that you will be amazed by the results. 2 years ago, I was this damaged, confused, vulnerable person who depended on her anxiety pills. But under all those years of torment and despair, a better version of myself was begging to express itself. Every night, before I go to sleep, I take a look at my pills that sit there on my nightstand, and I still can't believe that was once me. Change made me the person I am today. A person that instead of being bullied by teachers is loved and respected by them. A person that is off their pills. A person that loves their body and who they really are. Maybe what I really, really want you to know is that you don't need to hit rock bottom like I did. You don't need to hit a serious mental health issue like I did in order to realize that change is needed. Sorry. Don't settle or adapt to the status quo. React towards what is wrong and fight for your truth. I stand here today, back on my feet, fighting my own truth. Fluidity. Change is the reason we're all here in the first place, but we must learn how to embrace it. We will and must be afraid of the unknown forever, but if we aspire as a society, but most importantly as individuals, to do bigger and greater things, we must not only learn how to cope, but how to love fluidity. Whether you choose to embrace change, enjoy it, create it, adapt to it, avoid it, or just deal with it, change isn't going to go away. Change is here to stay. Because fluidity isn't only transformative, it's needed. Because whether you want it or not, nothing is definitive, nothing is forever. And although it sounds sad, it is great. Thank you.